Hello students, we are going to discuss a very interesting topic today, biographical information sources. This is a very interesting topic because we come across a large number of people in our life, people from different sphere. Either they are scientists, they are social scientists, they could be experts in different areas. How they are related or how they are specialized on a particular topic, how they are specialized in their particular area of research, how they are specialized in a particular area of work, we are going to discuss and on this. And also we would also like to see that how biographical information sources is very important for a library information science students to understand. A biography or simple bio is a detailed description or account of a person's life. It entails more than basic facts like education, work, relationships and death. A subject biography also portrays a subject experience of these events. What information should be included in a biography? A biography can contain almost anything about a person. What information you include is up to you. Most biographies, regardless of their length and target audience, will entail basic facts like the time and places in which the person lived. Now, the scope is a very important thing. In a library perspective, you can have a large number of biographies of different people. Say for example, you are working in an institution and in the institution itself you have different type of stakeholders, different type of users. Some of them would be faculty, some of them would be consultants, some of them would be dean, academics and some of them could be outsiders. Now, each one of them has got a different kind of a profiling, each one of them have got a different kind of need. Each one of them are going to have a different kinds of their biographical sketch. So, when in a library perspective, when you do that, how you do that, and you need to understand in a library what is the scope of it. And in a scope means whether you should have the informations on a global level, regional level, local level or national level. So, that you need to. So, here the scope means the bibliography of biographical sources provides an annotated listing of important and representational titles of general and comprehensive biographical sources available. It is not intended to be a complete list of biographical reference sources. One should consult a reference librarian for further information, because when we will see the examples in the biography, you will see that not all informations are included in it. So, sometimes you may have to come back to the reference librarian that for such and such person you are looking for some more informations. So, a reference librarian is going to help you out that where exactly you should go for further information of that person's biographical sketch. Deciding what to include in a biography, first of all consider the length of the biography. This will help determine how much or how little information you should include and how in depth that information should be. For example, a simple paragraph will contain much more general basic facts than a biography that is several pages long. You are not asking for a huge length of a CV of a person. Okay. So, you are looking for a paragraph with a gist information of that person. What is included in a biography will become more complex. As the biography gets longer, the more words you have to use, the more facts you can consider for inclusion. A biography that is several pages long will probably go into more detail about the person's history and what events throughout the life made them who they are. For a basic paragraph, your biography should probably include facts like date and place of birth, and if death is there, it can also be applicable, major achievements, which is an extremely important area, education, work facts and overview of what the person's significant is. Biographical resources in reference, biographical dictionaries are collective works of sketches of people's lives. In some sources, sketches are no more than a paragraph in length and include no more than a summary of facts such as birth date, names of the spouse and children, education awards and career highlights. Biographical dictionaries, however, are not the only sources for locating information about people. In addition to biographical dictionaries, other reference works such as general and subject bibliographies often include biographical essays. So, once you go back to a reference librarian, he will take you to a he will direct you to go and refer some of the subject bibliographical sources. So, which will help you to find out more information about that person, which may be written in at length for that person. Biography Reference Bank, ancient times to present, now combines the in-depth original profiles of Wilson Biographies Plus Illustrated plus the periodicals coverage of Biography Index, full text articles, images and abstracts from the complete range of Wilson databases, including biographical profiles, feature articles, interviews, essays, book reviews, performance reviews, speeches or obituaries also. Pseudonyms and Nicknames Dictionary, 1986, it is a very interesting book, an alphabetical listing of over 55,000 pseudonyms and nicknames from all periods of history and worldwide. You also must be having a pseudonym. So, you can think of the kind of pseudonym has come up, includes birth and death information, nationality and reference to original name. Biography and Genealogy Master Index, annual 1980. Now, this is cumulating at 5-year intervals, because every 5 year the more and more people's numbers and their biographies and the details they get generated one by one. There is a comprehensive index available of current and retrospective entries for over 6 million biographical sources. Index sources include biographical dictionaries like Who's Who and subject encyclopedias, contemporary authors, cumulative index, annual. So, basically you can see the Biography and Genealogy Master Index is a whole set of index and it is annual, and that is in 1980 it was first published and all. This is very important. This is called New York Times Obituary Index. The word obituary means the person who has expired. Now, there are very famous people, those who have died after making a lot of contributions to the society. The New York Times, they generally publish this entire information in their newspaper. So, what they thought of that, let me prepare what we call it as a New York Times Obituary Index, and where the people, their contributions who had expired, that can be compiled together. So, this is a very interesting compilation of the biographies of the people who are died. Now, this ranges from 1969 to 1978, New York Times brought out in 1980. So, you can imagine the kind of information was recorded. Contains references to about 3,53,000 names of individuals. So, imagine the number of people who are famous people died, and that particular area is 3,53,000 names of individuals are listed out in the New York Times Obituary Index. A guide to magazine articles, newspaper articles and book concerning more than 15,000 black individuals and groups, and it was edited by Mary Mays Spradling, 3rd edition, Detroit in Michigan, and Gale Research Company 1988 they brought out. So, here the person who has died, their contributions, academic contributions, or about them somebody has written a kind of a fetch script. So, they written in several articles which appeared in magazines and all, that also gives a compilation of that. So, it is a huge, very important obituary index published by the New York Times, which is a very famous publication. The next one is Magazine and Newspaper Articles Biography Index Quarterly 1946. Indexes biographical information found in periodicals, current books of individuals, collective biographies, obituaries, book reviews and others. It includes index to occupations and professions also. So, these are basically compiled from different magazines and different newspaper articles together, and a biography index was created from, and it is published quarterly, and the first one came out in the 1946. The bibliographies of monographs, biographical books. Now, this is another handy reference tool for you. Like it is published in 1950 to 1980. It was published in New York by R. Barker. This is a very noted publishing house. They brought out in 1980. It includes listing of biographies, autobiographies, collective biographies, letters and diaries. Indexes includes name, subject, vocation, title and author. So, you can imagine we have been seeing the large number of biographical different reports, different indexes, different compilations are coming together, but the content of each one of them is different. So, for any user or any stakeholder, when he wants to refer a particular biography, he has to come back to the reference librarian and say that I am looking for such and such person or such and such famous person, I want he to see what are his contributions. So, you automatically direct him to a particular type of biography for that purpose. We will also come to online electronic mode. Now, many of the biographies after this application of ICTs and all, many of the biographies now are available in the website also. So, this is extremely important that the various of these biographies are available. Even if you, when you Google, you will find that if you write, if you give suppose in the image sections you put a person's name, you get his picture, but in addition if you want to give a name in the all, that you come to know many things about that person's, his contribution in the form of books, articles, or a small sketch of his biography which is generally published in the Wikipedia, or if he has delivered a talk somewhere, something is uploaded in the YouTube. So, you get a large number of online electronic mode of the biographies also. Biographical Dictionary of Central and Eastern Europe in the 20th century. Now, this is a very important document edited by Rozowski and Jan Kaufman in Armonk in New York, and Sharp 2008 this was brought out. This is a biographical information on several thousand and notable figures in 20th century, covering what is the coverage. See, the coverage is a very important thing. Central and Eastern Europe, it was covered. Coverage includes what? The countries like Albania, the Belarus, the Czech and the Slovak republics, the Estonia, Hungary, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, Romania, Moldova, Ukraine and countries that made up Yugoslavia. So, this particular dictionary which is in online mode is available covering these countries which are named here, and their noted people, their famous people covering of the Central and the Eastern Europe, those resources were all brought together at one particular platform, and it is searchable also. So, you give a name of a person and you get his entire bio sketch of that person. So, this is how an online, one of the examples of online biographical resources. This is a very famous biographical online documentation is available right now, which is I am sure it is all available, is very famous with everybody today, that is called Britannica Online. It includes almost 23,000 full text biographies from the current Encyclopedia Britannica. Now, this one, it is nothing but an offshoot from the Encyclopedia Britannica, where the names of the people, their brief details, if it is not obituary, if they are living, so their details, their date of birth, the place of birth, the different kinds of information, their area of research, area of interest, their basic contributions to the society on a particular aspect, or the area of research, which organizations they are currently affiliated to. These kind of informations you will get it in this Britannica Online. And one, it is an extremely important reference tool for the library information science professionals to go and dig out informations of that person. It has got a very robust search facility available with them. So, basically one can easily find out a lot of informations from this particular aspect. So, need to understand the Britannica Online. So, you go to the website and see what are the different kinds of things which are available in this. Then the Oxford African American Study Center, full text databases that provides comprehensive coverage of the African American experience. See, you need to understand the coverage, it is the African American experience, so that's a very important component. It is updated quarterly. The online collection contains scholarly articles, biographies, commentaries, primary sources, subject entries, film clips, images, maps, charts, tables, websites and timelines. So, these are extremely important when you go for Oxford African American Study Centers. This particular website, it is in online mode, it is available, and you can see of a famous persons so many resources at one particular platform. Oxford Dictionary of National Biography, biographies of more than 50,000 noteworthy people, no longer living, who inhabited or were connected with the British Isles. Portraits included for more than 10,000 entries. So, this is, you can see, this is such an important thing that 50,000 noteworthy people who are no more living, but their contributions to the society has been depicted in this Oxford Dictionary of National Biography. It is at a national level, it is a very famous document. So, this is how it is more important to it. The International Who's Who, biennial 1935. Now, 1937 this document entries includes name, occupation, vital statistics, parents, marriage, children, education, professional certifications, career, writings and creative works, civic and political activities, military awards and fellowships, professional and association memberships, political affiliation, religion, clubs, lodges, avocations, home and office address. This is an extremely handy, user friendly and online platform of International Who's Who starting from 1937 onwards. So, any person coverage is vast, you can see in this slide, vast amount of information is available of a single person, and you can immediately cull out that information and provide it to the concerned stakeholders. The other general biographical sources, these sources include directory information as well as article, essay, descriptions of the individual. Many include references to other sources of information, like information contained in these sources is often written by an objective biographer on a particular purpose. Sources that are retrospective, only deceased individuals are included, are noted in the annotation. The Almanac of Famous People, it comes in 2 volumes. The volume 1 provides short alphabetical listings of historical and contemporary people. It includes name variations, occupation, career, one-line description, date and place of birth and death, and biographical reference sources for additional information. But volume 2 includes 2 chronological indexes. See, this is how it gets related to the volume 1. Indexes arranged by month and day and by year. So, for a researcher or maybe for a librarian, if he wants to find out the details of a person, he may refer the volume 2 first. From the index, he culls out the exact informations and then he goes to a particular ID number of that person and find out from the volume 1. So, this is a almanac of the very famous people. The biography book by Daniel Bird, Westport, Oxbridge Press 2001, a reader's guide to non-fiction, fictional and film biographies of more than 500 of the most fascinating individuals of all time. Dictionary of the World, biography Chicago, Fitzroy, Dearborn 1998 and 1999, a 10-volume biographical dictionary of individuals from the ancient world through the 20th century. These volumes are a revision and reordering of the great lives from history series. See, you need to understand the great lives from history series, which is very important in that. Great lives from history series, if we look into that more in detail, ancient and the medieval series, they have an ancient and the medieval series also. It is edited by Frank McGill, Pasadena, California, Salem Press 1988 they brought out. It is a 5-volume set that provides articles on 459 individuals from the Egyptian king Zoser. See, this is very important. Egyptian king Zoser, 27th century BC to Gutenberg, dated 1468. The biographies are indexed by area of achievement and by geographical location. So, you can see that each and every the biographical reference sources have got different kinds of coverage and different kinds of scope. American Men and Women of Science, Detroit, Thomson Gale 1971 to 2006 provides basic biographical data on engineers and scientists, includes birth dates and places, field of specialty, education, honorary degrees, current position, professional and current experience, awards, memberships, research information, addresses. Some entries include even email addresses also, sometimes it is given into that. Online biographical resources. There are several online biographical resources. One of them is American National Biography, Dictionary of Political Biography, Oxford Reference Online, which is very important. Oxford Encyclopedia of Women in World History, published in 2008. Complete Biographical Encyclopedia of Pulitzer Prize 1917 to 2000. Online biographical resources others are Lives of the Laureates, 23 Nobel economists, all the Nobel laureates in economics who got the award, who were awarded. The 5th edition, it was published in 2009. So, this is a very important volume. Distinguished Asian Americans, Distinguished Asian Americans like a Biographical Dictionary 1999, Renaissance and Reformation 1500 to 1620, a Biographical Dictionary 2001, and Ahead of Their Time, a Biographical Dictionary of Risk-Taking Women 2002. So, these are some of the very powerful online biographical research resources which are available in the online platform. They can be accessed to different kinds of permutation combinations of or Boolean operators. You can use different kinds of search techniques and you can get the relevant informations culled out from that people. It is extremely important. So, it is a student. So, you need to go through all these different platforms and understand that how these biographical informations were all are given, these informations were furnished in them. So, it is extremely, we have seen different kinds of the biographical indexes into it, and these biographical indexes are extremely important for each one of them, because these biographical indexes, their coverages are different, their informations are different, they are of different locations, they are of different places. So, each one of them is, they are many of these biographical this index or biographical information sources are available in either in printed form or in the electronic form. You need to understand in which formats you want. In fact, in the electronic form it is very common, and sometimes it is subscribed based, it is non-subscribed based also. But for when you help a particular researcher or a stakeholder to looking for some kind of an information, then you need to understand first his query, and then accordingly from one of these sources you have to find out that biography of that particular person. Now, in an institution, when you do your user profiling, you can also use some of these techniques which are used in the biography for developing your user profile also, because user profile is an extremely important component in it. Why it is extremely important component? Because you need to understand your each and every stakeholders, your each and every users who are very famous in your organizations where you are working. So, basically what you need to do is basically you have to compile their information. So, how you can compile the information? You can talk to them, find out their details, from each one of them. So, you can develop a questionnaire for yourself, meet each and every famous person, but before developing a questionnaire, what you need to do understand is what information, what basic information of that famous person you are going to put it in your database. So, that would be very easy for you to do your user profiling also. So, this is another picture of these biographical sources also. So, in a nutshell, what you need to do is basically the biographical index, different types are there. There are general biographies, there are subject biographies. What you need to understand is for a particular stakeholder, which kind of biography would be useful for a particular user. So, first when he develops, when he gives a query to you on a particular person, what you need to do is ask him, is he looking for some more information of that person? Yes, I am looking for more information of that person. Direct him to that particular subject bibliography, where a detailed analysis of that person, his contribution to the society on a particular area of research, work and all, everything has been compiled together. Only thing is that these informations are available in a consolidated form. You have to find out the information from the right source. Thank you.